Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for some. Thank you for joining us today. I am Jamal Watkins. I'm an Adobe Captivate Prime Senior Learning Evangelist. I'm joined here today by Rob Porter and Mike Colleen, who are with our trusted partner system integration organization, COSO Cloud. We're here today to talk about a practical guide to implementing a headless LMS using Adobe Captivate Prime APIs. So we'll spend a bit of time today talking through the value of those concepts, but a little bit about the team. I've had extensive experience in the L&D and talent space for approximately 25 years as a practitioner and also on the supplier side. Partnered with various stakeholders in different capacities that influence employee and customer processes towards achieving business goals and generating revenue. And my previous work experience include industries such as telecommunication, healthcare, educational publishing, and software technologies. Then we have our trusted chief architect with COSO Cloud, that's Mike Colleen. Um, Mike has pioneered the web asynchronous training division for Boeing employees through UC Irvine prior to his time with COSO. He's founded eSync Training, built and designed over 200 web-based application, architected more than 50% of the apps on the Adobe Connect App Center. And Mike continues to build new cutting edge products that will take virtual training and e-learning to the next level of innovation. Um, you'll see a lot of that today. So Mike will take time to actually show you some of the work that COSO has done on behalf of Adobe, not to mention that he is an avid tennis player. And last but not least, and saving the best for last, we have Rob Porter, who is the head of the e-learning market and business development at COSO Cloud. Rob is responsible for training and implementation services that helps customers accelerate their productivity and success with e-learning products. He has over 26 years experience in instructional design and e-learning programs with over 200 hours of e-learning content and multiple customer learning programs and platforms that he's participated in the design efforts and work with leading corporations like BMW, Nike, Nikon, Johns Hopkins, Microsoft, Vestas, and a number of others as well. Founded and was principal at Training Objectives Corporation as well prior to his time with COSO Cloud. Today, our objectives are going to be the impact of APIs on the overall learning experience, right? In addition, we'll talk through the impact with respect to learning administration and organizational goals. These are all key factors, key elements in the ecosystem of learning and enabling technologies or enabling learning technologies. Three core pillars. So we'll talk through how APIs can impact those pillars. With that said, I am now going to turn this over to Rob Porter, who is going to take a couple of minutes to walk us through and speak to the native prime environment.
Hey, thanks, Jamal. Yeah, absolutely. So the native prime environment has fulfilled many organizations' goals. There's been thousands of instances of Captivate Prime, and organizations have been able to leverage this prime environment. There are some customization available within the environment where the administrators can move some of the widgets around and make them available uh, as far as coloring, branding, things like that. It has been immensely helpful for many organizations. There are additional organizations who absolutely love the Captivate Prime environment. They love the functionality. They were looking to take it to the next level. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here, is taking from the native Prime environment and enabling that organization to make it their own, have their own unique workflows and experiences for their learners. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of those areas. Now, first, for those who are not familiar with APIs, the acronym is Application Programming Interface. And basically what it does is it allows computer programs to share data between each other and to be able to interface um, unique experiences and pull data from one location and display it in another. And this is at a core base level what the APIs are doing, enabling organizations to create their own experiences. These APIs are available publicly, which is extremely unique for a learning management system. And in this particular case here, we've actually put at the bottom of the page the actual URL where you can find all of the Captivate Prime documentation in regards to the set of APIs. And these are used for the customers to integrate their enterprise applications with Captivate Prime. So the APIs, the impact on that learning experience and what we're seeing in the industry is on this page here are just several examples of what we're seeing, the big impacts in the area. Uh, New web applications, new mobile applications are being built. Prime is being completely embedded inside other training platforms, enabling the learning to happen where the learner currently resides. Also just tailoring that learning workflow and enabling the learner to be guided on the path that the organization wants them to follow. Now, areas that we're also seeing impacts in learning administration also are big impacts where time saving and organizational impacts are being seen in integration with HRIS systems, retrieving documentation, real-time data exchange for reporting, and truly automating how that data is moving and where it's going to help increase the efficiency of the entire operation by automating this to the exact standards that the organization needs. Now, as far as the organization goals, the goals for an organization for learning could be a wide variety. It could be training internal users, it could be training partners or sales channels or whatever whatever that may be. In this particular slide, we're presenting information that we're seeing are how organizations are leveraging these APIs to create promotional initiatives, custom Salesforce integrations to perfectly align also the organization's branding and control 100% of that learner experience. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mike Colleen, our chief architect at COSO Cloud, and he'll get a chance to show you the results of some of the work that has been done.
Okay, thank you, Rob. So the major idea that Adobe has done with Adobe Captivate Prime based on the APIs is create the dashboard that you see here, is that there's APIs behind everything that you see. So whether it's the My Learning catalog, social learning skills, badges, and leaderboard, there is definitely APIs. So if you want to build your own custom front end, you have the ability to do so. So for example, here is what you'll note is expertzone.microsoft.com. That is a headless LMS that uses the Adobe Captivate Prime APIs to build a custom front end. So the major benefits is that Microsoft can make this look exactly the way that they want. There is they can perfectly match their website. They can also keep their users on the same domain. So expertzone.microsoft.com, they're not leaving the Microsoft site, and they have the ability to drill into any of the content here. But this is truly Adobe Captivate Prime on the back end. So all the wonderful reporting and everything else, but this gives you the freedom to wave the magic wand to build exactly what you want. That's precisely what we've done for Microsoft. There's actually 3 divisions of Microsoft that we've done this for, and many others. So I'm going to show you, these are examples, but I'm going to show you Publicis. Publicis is a long-standing Adobe Captivate customer. They wanted more of a Netflix-style feel to their site, and that's exactly what we provided them with in the overall design. So this gave them the ability to do basically a major facelift for the site itself. And they had this Marcel branding that they really wanted to deeply integrate into the Headless LMS, which is precisely what we gave them in terms of that experience. NVIDIA is another one. NVIDIA wanted the ability to perfectly match their website. So if you were to go and look at all of their fonts, their website itself, you'll note that this is exactly the same as their website. They also wanted to have multiple languages. So we were able to go in and provide 13 different languages with a content management system on the back end that allowed them to easily swap out and support multiple languages. Live streaming, the CEO for NVIDIA wanted to be able to do live streaming for YouTube. And that really doesn't have anything to do with Prime at all. The dashboard, the calendar, the catalog, the leaderboard, but live streaming, promotions, messages, and help are custom views that we created specifically for NVIDIA. So this looks 100% like an NVIDIA website or learning management system, but in reality, they're combining the best of both worlds and getting like the perfect NVIDIA user experience. At the same time, the power of Captivate Prime on the back end, essentially acting as a CDN or CMS for the courses, but giving them, using the APIs, this custom front end. Domino's Japan is another one. Let's take a look at Nike. So Nike, obviously their brand is vitally important to them. They also wanted to be able to have the ability to match their website, and they have this Headless LMS experience that we've designed for them. It shows them how many points total, points to go, and puts the weight and the layout exactly how they want to see it and see that rendered. And you'll start to see a bit of commonalities because these are part of any LMS that you'd want to have, and certainly My Learning, Catalog, and Leaderboard, and Home. And there's some of those views that are similar across the additional brands. But I'm going to show you one that is a complete departure from the normal Headless LMS experience and Adobe Captivate Prime experience. But this is Adobe Captivate Prime. They have different levels. They have their trophy and badges and skill. They've got an avatar. They have a ability to cycle through multiple levels as an employee. So as you learn more, you can earn more, essentially, which is cool, as well as you've got these multiple levels as you architect your career path within Domino's. That's one of the biggest concerns that Domino's Australia has, is that they want to not have high turnover, And one way of doing that is to help people to be understanding that there is a career path at Domino's. And that's why they provide these different levels. It's not just basically a summer job, and that there is levels that you can attain within the organization and can have a long-term career path. So they're doing that through Prime. They're doing this through the custom development using the APIs, and they even have like a fun roadmap that you can navigate throughout your career in Domino's and be able to do that. So a lot of interesting logic that's here. I'm just going to cycle through a few more of these. They also had, you could compete against other members at your store for points. So that was kind of fun. But then you could also do it by region or by states, or you can even create a custom team. So if you have another team member in Perth, another one in Melbourne, you can have them competing against each other in an ad hoc team in Domino's Australia. So very interesting kind of ways that they are targeting competition within their different region, store, state, or team. There's you building out your team. Then you've got different skill levels. So as a part of your career ascension at Domino's, they tied these to your skills here as well, trophies, announcements, and we had some different backgrounds. They had this kind of cool avatar that you can build. We were able to generate several libraries of images that were able to be brought in that were culturally appropriate or relevant in the avatar concept. We also did this for Domino's Japan. We also built some really fancy custom reports. Domino's Australia had some very deep nesting, a hierarchy in the org chart in Domino's Australia. And so they wanted several ways in which to view reports. So here's an example of that. So we have lots and lots of commercial examples. You can see the big names that are using the Headless LMS experience, the Microsoft, the Publicis, NVIDIA, Nike, Domino's, several divisions of Domino's. But the one I want to show you also is the military. The military is also using this as well. So this was for the LREC, language, regional, and cultural expertise. That is where they're providing a hybrid model of training. This is where you can do one-on-one training with a linguist. So if you were a officer in the military, you could go in and schedule one-on-one specific tutoring with a linguist. So maybe you have a big presentation that you need to provide or give. We have a live component. They also have courses on demand. There's you having the ability to book an appointment, but there's also courses that are here as well. So this is the asynchronous content. So if you have Arabic, grammar, maybe let's say, you're able to go in and view those courses. There's both on demand. There can also be a live component as well. And so we built out a lot of fancy logic around tutoring and tutoring credits, and you can see kind of this nice schedule that can be generated for all the live sessions that you're in a virtual calendar. So the main idea here that I'm hoping that folks are seeing here is Adobe's done a brilliant job in providing a set of APIs. They knew that there was no way they were going to make every organization happy with the main dashboard. So they smartly, and Adobe's very well known for being an open company, they created a set of APIs for Adobe Captivate Prime. So every single screen that we discussed, the My Learning Catalog, Social Learning Skills, Badges, and Leaderboard, there's an API behind that. So you're not going to go and build all the back end logic and server side logic. You only need to build the front end. Coso Cloud specializes in building those front ends. And as you can, from the portfolio of customers, there's many that where this is really appealing because this is not something they're used to being able to do. To be able to wave this magic wand and essentially do whatever they want, but without having to go and build their own LMS themselves. So they get the power of Prime, they get a beautiful set of APIs, but they get complete freedom in building whatever custom front end that they want to keep them on the same domain. So they're never leaving Microsoft website when they go to this particular site. The user experience feels 100% like a Microsoft website. And so we also built a standalone mobile application from Microsoft that was really cool, the Android and the iOS version. So you could even receive notifications. But it really helps to kind of take it up to the next level. But then you also have all the brilliance of Prime on the back end and administration and reports and things like that. And of course, the fluidic player and knowing that your course is going to play across any device. But then on the front end, if you can dream it, we can build it with you and your team. Or you can build it if you've got a set of developers on your side that want to work with the APIs. So thank you, Rob, for the opportunity to present. And I hope this was informative for you.
Mike, that was great. Very impactful. It's exciting to see how organizations are leveraging APIs for their own business goals. Now, just a quick recap on some of these. The integration of these tools are being used to help improve the efficiencies, help make organizations more streamlined, automating that data, and directly addressing the business problems. There are opportunities that are presented where these tailored solutions are a perfect match to automate that workflow and to actively share the completion metrics and other business tools for an organization to help them be more streamlined. Now, Jamal, as far as uh, customer and partner training, what other things could you say about that?
Yeah, what many organizations either struggle with or attempt to replicate is to increase their branding footprint to make sure that there's no disruption to the traction of the user experience. And basically, with engaging your audience with a perfectly branded experience, right? So being able to take Prime and leverage the APIs and bring the Prime platform into a company intranet with a similar navigation experience, similar navigation theme and color coding is a really effective and useful way of leveraging the APIs. That ensures that there is no disruption to the learner experience. Um, as well as reducing friction, right, for customer experiences and extending the customer experience with creating more points of entry to meet the learner where they are. So not necessarily always requiring the learner to have to navigate to a specific learning environment or an employee to have to navigate to a specific learning environment to access the content, but bring the content to where the learner or the user or the customer may already be. Right, that's a really effective way of leveraging APIs, ensuring that you're present within that particular motivated period of time that that a particular learner wants to engage with content and with the Prime platform. And then finally, incentivizing the sales channel for completing training. Um, in this case, it's being able to leverage APIs with bringing the Prime environment into Salesforce, right? So you don't have to leave the Salesforce environment in order to access content or access the Prime functionality.
Right. Absolutely. As far as summarizing and looking at aspects of how this is affecting organization's business model, the these are the core pieces where we're seeing, if we could look at just summarizing them, organizations are focused on, if it's a sales channel initiative, if it's a partner channel initiative, if it's customer education, they're looking at generating revenue through education, right? And organizations also are looking to attract the best employees. They want to make sure that their education is top notch. They spend a lot of time building content, and they want that user experience to be perfect match to their work culture. And it enables them to stay ahead of the competition that's out there that may be providing less exciting learning environments. We're also seeing, because organizations can tailor that experience, right? They can perhaps in some cases reduce noise in the workflow, where they can completely focus the learner on specific areas, helping the learner increase retention. In addition to that, they're able to actually pull in other tools such as YouTube live streaming, for example, that Mike had shown earlier. And also, because of that deep branding, because it shows that they have complete control over that experience, it's going to increase that customer confidence. That customer is going to know that they are at their true destination. So at this time, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Uh, d- Next steps, I would have to say for us, would be, if you're interested in learning more about Captivate Prime, by all means, please contact us. If you'd like to explore the Captivate Prime APIs, that URL is available, and where you could go ahead and visit. If you would like to discuss anything with our developers in regards to the APIs, we'd be happy to talk with you about not just the APIs, but also the integration options. Our doors are always open, and we greatly appreciate it. And Jamal, thank you very much for hosting us today as well. It was a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Rob. It was a pleasure as well.